Hello classmates, my name is Letonia Magaw and I am here to talk to you today about the Renaissance period. This period of time took place between 1450 and 1600. This was the marked beginning of modern science and philosophy as we know it. There was an incredible amount of scientific advancement that took place during the Renaissance. This time period brought light to humanism questioning the church authority, exploration in modern printing techniques, as well as curiosity and creativity arose. The important figures of the Renaissance brought transformation and changed the world forever with their knowledge and ideas. During this time, the Renaissance had a whole new way of looking at things. Up until this period, God was the center of the way of living. The authority of the church was to be followed and not questioned, or you could be burned or face harsh sentencing. Humanists for the next 150 years would challenge the church authority and way of thinking, concepts, ideas, and broaden religion as we know it. During this time, we had contributing factors to the reawakening. There were several contributors to the reawakening of these times. These factors believed to be responsible included Aquinas' examination of nature to knowing God, and humanist philosophy awakened the idea to question which was reflected in Greeks. They stressed the importance of humans to show their potential to change the world for the better. There was two key events to remember. And these two key events were also responsible for weakening the authority of the church, including exploration of Central Asia and China by Marco Polo, discovery of the New World by Christopher Columbus, and don't forget, circumnavigation of the globe by Ferdinand Magellan's expedition. These expeditions broke down walls, such as when you do demolition on a home for remodel. You want to challenge the current layout. With this, you make a way for new structural possibilities and layouts. Kind of like breaking down and weakening the church authority. You can imagine how this created problems for the church's structure that was already set in its design. Also contributing to this factor, Johannes Gutenberg's invention of movable metal opened up the world of modern printing. This created access to books and literacy, bringing forward more universities and bright minds. Renaissance humanism. So this brings us to humanism, the thought, feelings, and activities of ourselves and fellow human acquaintances. Along with expanding literature and university, it was like we were discovering ourselves for the first time. Four major themes came forward. And these four major themes that portrayed Renaissance humanism included individualism, the belief in the human potential and power of an individual, personal religion. All Renaissance humanists were Christians, but they wanted the freedom to have a more personal experience that wasn't as established and formalistic as it had been. This reminds me of the way some churches now don't just sing hymns from the church layout. So you have a book and it just had specific hymns to sing. But instead, now when you go to some churches, people are up in the front with a full band. They make up music, they do their own songs, and you've got guitars and many vocalists and many things. And this is to gain a more personal experience. So with this came a lot of interest in the past. The humanists wanted to think and interpret the information from their past in their own mind and way, rather than what they were told the interpretation was by the church authority. The big influencers were the early Greek Roman poets, philosophers, and politicians. Especially influential was Plato. The fourth theme was anti-Aristotelianism. The humanists believed Aristotle to be too influential. He was to the extent of being right up there beside the Bible, which God was to be the main man, not a human that is capable of error. It's important to note that during these times, things could be a bit self-contradictory. There is no doubt that the Renaissance time was one of asking questions and exploration and of the truth. With it brought forth great human achievements. However, it is important to note that with this came persecution, superstition, witch hunting, execution, fear, torture, and exorcism. There were many dark times involved, including wars destroying large amounts of France and Germany. The Renaissance displayed humans at their best, making a difference, and their worst, showing how dark and cruel that they can be toward change. Sound familiar with our current status? So, there is no doubt that this time is when modern philosophy and science emerged. Among this influence in the 2nd century A.D. lived Ptolemy, Copernicus, Kepler, and Galileo. These men brought forth valuable information that has shaped important aspects of today. One of these is Descartes. Descartes' innate ideas and his contributions to the world of modern psychology made him considered to be the father of psychology. Closing time. We're just about done. These scientists and philosophers of the 16th and 17th century were not against religion. Rather, they were anti-church dogma. They brought transition to the world of the human philosophical thinking capabilities.